All right, so we are on week 20, and we have a jam-packed session today. So let's go ahead while you guys are putting up your items there for Greece, Hungary, Iceland, and Italy, and Vatican City. I'm just going to read them out. We're going to share those, and then we're going to jump into the things for today. All right. So I want to make sure I can see everybody. Hopefully I can see everybody. This class gets big enough. Okay, so I'm still missing seeing one more, I think. Two more. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so Iceland has 13 Santas. In most of the world, the children can't wait for Christmas Day to see if Santa brought them a lovely gift. In Iceland, children get visited by 13 Yule lads. So their Icelandic children place their shoe in their bedroom window each evening for 13 days before Christmas. And each night, one of the Yule lads will visit and leave a small gift for them. Okay, so that's a little bit like St. Nicholas Day, isn't it, that they celebrate in Europe? It's just a little bit longer. In St. Nicholas Day, it's one day, one night, you put your shoes outside the door, and hopefully you get a small gift and maybe a coin and probably a piece of chocolate in there. So Vatican City, smallest country in the world. Yes, it is. And it's like a quarter square mile. It's so small. Basically, it's really just encompasses the buildings that are part of the Roman Catholic Church and the whole piece there. It used to be that you could go into Vatican City and get your passport stamped for Vatican City before the whole EU thing. Now they don't do that so much anymore, I don't think. Okay, Italy has more than 5 times as many people as Greece does. Yeah, isn't that interesting? And Greece has all those little islands, okay? And so some are inhabited, some aren't. I would like a warm little Greek island about now with a few inhabitants, but not so many. You know, I'm cool with that. So, okay, 80% of Greece is made up of mountains. Yeah, it's a really volatile volcanic area there within the Mediterranean. And we know that because of the archipelago there. There's several of them, but you can see it in our map here. The Adriatic Sea, which is the part on the CAF side of the boot of Italy, the Adriatic Sea from the top of Croatia, that whole green bit that's Croatia down here, all these islands, this archipelago, and then the same here in Greece. It just keeps going. There's a fault line there. And if this map were to keep going, you would see that it just keeps going down and down and down into the Middle East and changes a bit down here a little bit, but within the Mediterranean Sea and the Ionian Sea and the Adriatic Sea and all the other seas there, it is, this side is pretty volatile when it comes to volcanic eruptions and earthquakes and that type of thing. All right, moving on. More the earthquake type of thing than the volcano type of thing. Italians have eaten pasta since the 4th century. Yes, every day pasta. Every single day, some kind of pasta. It's true. And probably almost every meal, but at least the main meal. Salve squid agis.
Salve quid agis. It means hello, how are you?
Yes. I said squid, didn't I, instead of quid? I got the S in the wrong place. Sorry about that. I knew what it meant and I knew how to say it. It just didn't come out right. And in Vatican, they speak Latin. Yes, in Vatican City they do. And they speak Italian there too, but it's a big place for Latin language there. Okay, moving on. We did those. Greece has about 250 days of sunshine. Yes, let's all head there about now, right? And women are not allowed to enter Mount Athos in Greece. Why is that, Jaden?
It was like a religious site and stuff. So it's just like I think it was like monks and stuff. So.
Oh, okay. Interesting. That's a really interesting fact. It could be that it's an Orthodox, Greek Orthodox area. And so they've got tighter restrictions on the rules for different things. The first Icelanders worshipped the god Thor and Odin. Yes, the gods Thor and Odin. That is true. Okay, you guys are going on and on here. Okay, no more. I'm not going to have time to read them all. As there are no hospitals in Vatican City, virtually no one is born there. Instead, Vatican citizenship is provided by the jus official basis, which means someone is made a citizen of Vatican City when they are appointed to work in the Holy See. Yeah, isn't that interesting? So you can't be born there. You have to be invited in to be a part of it and actually work there. So that is a little bit different, isn't it? Okay, 200... only 200 of Greece is sick. Riley, I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. Only 200 of Greece is 6,000 islands are inhabited. Okay, so of the 6,000 islands, only 200 are inhabited. That's what you're trying to say there. Okay, gotcha. And then we have the Santas, we read about them. And there is a saying that when God had finished the earth, he tossed the leftover rocks. And that is how Greece was made. That's interesting. A little mythology there for us, right? Very cool. All right. So let's jump into today's lessons. And I'm going to hop over here. Hope I'm on the right slide. Yep, we did the first things first. All right. So what we're going to do today is we are looking at Europe's great places. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at some of these places. Just really quick, it's a quick presentation to see if you know what's what. And all right, so here's what I want you to do. You can type it in chat, you can turn your mics on and just call it out. Either is fine. We're just saying it if we know it, and we're gonna go quick, all right? So what's this?
Tower of Pisa.
Tower, and where is it?
Somewhere in Italy.
All right, good. Okay, so if you've answered, when you've answered at least one, hold it back and let others answer, okay? And I better turn my chat on so that I can see those as well.
That's Stonehenge in Iceland.
You're
Or no,
right in the name.
Ireland?
You're wrong in the country, all right? It's in England. It's in South England. All right.
Have you seen that?
I have, but it's not, I'll be the first to say, it's the most popular, but it's not the best choice for seeing standing stones. I'm just gonna say monument because I don't know, I can't find the word for it today. There are some better ones that are less famous, but are better renditions of it, more north, all right? But that's Stonehenge. Okay, moving on. What's that?
Isn't that the beach where D-Day took place?
It is. Do you know the name of the beach? Does
No.
anybody know the name of the beach?
Normandy.
Normandy. In what country?
Vietnam.
Ireland.
Not Ireland, not Vietnam.
France?
Yes, France. So it's World War II.
I actually just read a book on that. That's the only way I know I knew that.
Awesome. All right. So this is in Normandy, or this is in France. All right. So when they say storming the beaches, this is what they're talking about. It was part of World War II. All right. Okay. What's this one? It's a little obscure, isn't it? It's okay. Anybody have a guess?
The Strait of Gibraltar?
The Straits of, you know, that is a really good guess. It's not correct, but that is an excellent guess because it does seem like it should be about that close, doesn't it? I'll let you know if I end up going to Spain in the fall because that's the plan, how close it is, all right? It is actually a fjord in Norway, all right? But those mountains, they skyrocket out of the water there and they have these fjords. Okay, next one. Doesn't quite look like that anymore. It had a big fire.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, exactly. And that one is in Paris, France, right? What about that one? I think some of you guys saw it last week.
Isn't that the Temple of Athena? No.
Close. Anybody else want to guess?
That's the
Colosseum.
Parthenon.
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 That's the name.
Parthenon, excellent. And that's in Athens. So knowing what it is and then knowing where it is where I want you guys to get to with the answers. Okay. So keep trying. You guys are doing a good job, but I keep forgetting to say, where is it? Okay. All right. What about this one?
I know it's a famous square in Russia,
Yes.
in like Moscow.
It's in Moscow. You know the name? Anyone? It's a color.
Rouge.
Close. In some
Red.
languages, it would be said rouge, but we say red square. This is red square.
I feel like I've
It's
heard
also
it as
called,
a,
this is the square. This right here is the wall of the Kremlin. On the other side of the wall, you would be saying the Kremlin. All right. All right. Next one. This one is
Big Ben.
this is a bit of a trick question. All right.
it's the Tower of London.
No, it's not the Tower of London.
No?
It is
Okay.
Big Ben. But that's not its official name. Where's it at?
Is it the Elizabeth Tower?
Yes. Who said that?
Sabrina.
Sabrina.
Well done, Sabrina. It is actually called, they say it here, Big Ben. It is actually called, it's a proper name, official name is Elizabeth Tower. And what the Westminster Parliament is right here. And that is in downtown London. All right, next one.
Have you seen the Colosseum, Rome? Have you seen the Big Ben?
I have. It's very cool. It's very cool. Okay, so somebody, Liam, you said what it is in the city it's in. Somebody else, what country?
Italy.
Italy, yeah. All right, there we go. Colosseum, Italy. This one?
Parliament?
Isn't that in Austria?
Jaden, what'd you say?
Isn't that in Austria?
Nope.
Okay.
Buckingham Palace,
Yes. What country?
England.
England. All right, good job. Buckingham Palace, London, England. It's just up the road from Big Ben. Literally, you can walk there in like about 10 minutes. Things are that close in that part of London. All right, this one. Just looks like an old ruined castle.
Is it a chateau in France?
No, but that wouldn't it be nice if it was? They do look a little bit like this. I think that this turret here kind of makes you think that, because this one stumped me because I hadn't looked at these in a year and I'd forgotten what it looked like. It's actually the Blarney Castle in Cork in Ireland. All right. And the next one.
Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
Paris, France.
Nice. Good job, guys. All right. And that one.
Vatican City.
City.
Yes. Vatican City. In what country?
Italy.
Ah.
Well, Vatican City.
Vatican City. All right, good job. Okay, it's actually St. Peter's Square in Vatican City, but honestly, the city goes from like here, you can see my arrow, to about wherever the radius of this stops, these brown buildings here, and these brown buildings here, and I think out to about there. That's Vatican City, and maybe a little on the backside. All right, what's this? Okay, what's this one?
Mount Olympus.
Nope. Anybody else?
Is it one of the Alps?
It is one of the Alps. Does anybody know one of the most famous Alps?
Mount Everest.
No, Mount Everest is in Asia.
Is it the Swiss Alps?
The Swiss Alps is the mountain range. This is a single mountain. It is in Switzerland, though. It's
Mount Fuji?
no, that's in Japan.
My bad. Sorry.
That's okay. So
I'm just trying to
it's
think of
quite
mountain names.
popular at Disneyland. Do they still have
Is
this
it
ride at
Matterhorn?
Disneyland?
Is it Matterhorn?
It is the Matterhorn in Switzerland. All right. Disneyland was the giveaway, wasn't it? Okay, this one?
I know the name, but I can't think of it right now.
All right.
Venice, Italy.
Yes. Also known as Shannon's most favorite city in the entire world so far that she's visited. All right. It is Venice, Italy. There's nothing like it. Take me there in a heartbeat. All right. What's this one?
Is it in Germany?
I believe it is. I could be wrong though myself.
That looks like the Disneyland castle.
It is the replica. I mean, it is what the Disneyland castle was fashioned after. Yes.
Doesn't it start with
So
like
just
an
say
N or
Disneyland.
something? I don't know
Yes,
if I
it's-
can pronounce it.
It's a little bit hard to say, so I'll show it to you guys.
Nottingham.
Nottingham, nope, that's not Nottingham. It is called Neuschwanstein. So everybody say that one out loud, Neuschwanstein, and then run it together really quick. Neuschwanstein,
Neuschwanstein.
Funstein.
Neuschwanstein. There you
That
go.
is not fun to say.
All right, what's this one?
Indica? No.
It's in Paris.
It's in Paris. You're right.
It's in the courtyard of the Louvre, but I don't know exactly.
All right, so
So the
Charlie got it. Good job, Charlie. I apologize for not seeing the chat and seeing that you are answering over there. Good job. It is the Louvre, and it is in Paris. That's right. So
I
what's
used to
the
think that was
Louvre?
the Pentagon when I was little.
Nope. So this is the entrance. It's a famous museum, if you guys don't know that already. All right. And that's the last one of those. So good job on that. That's really good. Okay, so now what I want you guys to do is I am going to show you the list that we have here, and I will go in order on my screen and ask you which one you want to look at. I will put your name next to it, and I will send you the link, and you are going to answer these questions. So you're just looking to find out why it's important, because we saw that it's famous, right? We just saw that these places are famous, but we need to know why, right? It's not enough in a world geography class to just say, oh yeah, I recognize that, right? We want to know why it's famous. Yeah, Liam.
Can I have the Coliseum?
You can have the Colosseum. So when I'll do my best to be pretty quick here, and I will give you, I'll put the name next to it, and then I will drop you the link, okay? And send it to you. So there you go. So hold your facts until we have a couple minutes for everybody to go, and then we will go in the order so everybody has enough time. Okay, so I'm going to put a number as well next to, so I know who's doing what when. All right, so you're just looking for 3 facts, roughly, right? What is it? Where is it? And why is it important or memorable? We kind of did the where already. So what I want to get to, what you guys to get to, the most important thing is, why is it important? And I want you to tell us in 30 seconds or less, because we have another big section and I want to give you plenty of time to work on it. Okay. We're basically just having fun looking at all the great places of Europe today. All right. Yeah. But Lord of the Rings was filmed in New Zealand.
Oh,
not
that's
in
right.
Norway. But you're right. The mountain, the topography and the physical features are similar in that regard.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cool. Okay. So when you think you're ready, give me a quick thumbs up. Visual person, your real thumb or a digital. There we go. Okay, so we have a couple people ready. I'm going to give us 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes for everybody to get done. If you're not done in 3 minutes, then we'll start and we'll bump you to the end if you're not quite ready. All right, so there it is. I'm going to do this one so you guys can see how it's spelled.
The Neuschwanstein okay, Germany's right up there, so it's a castle in Germany. It was like, it's kind of the reason it's like important or memorable is it was like kind of built unnecessarily, but it was its construction was requested by King Louis II, but it was never actually completed because the construction ended in 1886 when he committed suicide.
Right. He was the person in charge of it all, Ludwig, was a little bit crazy and he ended up killing himself. It could have been because he was asked to make so many turrets there. Could have been that, huh?
What was his name?
Ludwig von
Like
Neuschwanstein. Yeah.
Ludwig?
Ludwig is how they would say it. We would say Ludwig, right? But it's
Beethoven.
really Ludwig. Yeah, it's Ludwig in German. All right, so let's pop back and see. Good job, Jaden. So number 5 is Notre Dame. The spire here was destroyed, and the middle of the interior headed back to the spire. That was all destroyed. They're rebuilding it, and a lot of people are not at all happy with what they're doing with it next. I'll leave it at that for you guys to research and decide on your own. All right. Okay. So moving on. So that was Notre Dame. There it is. Who's got the Parthenon?
I do.
All right.
So the Parthenon, it's in Athens, Greece. It was a temple dedicated to the goddess Athena Parthenos. The Parthenon remained essentially intact for over 2 millennium. And using wagons, they built it like with blocks of marble from the quarry and up to the Acropolis incline.
Yeah. Good job. And it's amazing that it has stood for 2,000 years, especially in that area, because it really is a kind of rocky, shaking area with earthquakes and stuff. Good job. Okay, so that was number 7 is going to be Stonehenge. And so Riley, I'll read yours. Let's go back and find Stonehenge. That's way up. Oh no, here we go. Doing them. Oh, there it is. All right, so this is what Riley says. No one really knows who built Stonehenge, but archaeological evidence suggests that they say that it was partially constructed by early Mesolithic hunter-gatherers, and it is also believed that it took 1,000 years to build, and that the stones were used to tell the time of the year. Yeah, the stone circles in Scotland and England and Ireland are all they're fairly mysterious as to their purposes, and they have a lot of mythology connected to them. So, but they're interesting to look at and to kind of wonder what was really going on there. So, good job, Riley. Okay, that was Riley. Where are we at? 7 dollars, number 8. Charlie. Okay, Charlie, are you going to talk or do you want me to read? Oh, maybe you want me to read because there's yours. I see it. Let me find a picture of the Louvre. Okay. I think it's nearly at the bottom.
At the very bottom.
Yeah. There it is. Okay, I'm going to do this one too because sometimes it's good to see how things are spelled. Okay, so the Louvre holds one of the richest collections of paintings in the world, and it is one of the biggest art galleries in the world, and it is known as the Great Louvre. Yes, it is amazing. I spent a day there, and I could have spent 6 weeks there. There's so much to see. So yeah, Liam.
So wait, is the Louvre, is it just in that triangle part or is it more?
No, this is the entrance. The Louvre is the whole palace. It used to be a palace, and it also has basement areas.
How do you, so wait, you go into the
You
last
enter
thing and
here and you go down an escalator, and in the basement you buy your ticket and all that kind of thing, and then you go up and down the different wings. So there's at least 2 floors. Sometimes in some areas there's 3, because like this will be open on this side and this side and in the corners with different gallery things. I've only seen a portion of it though. Still on my
how big
list.
is it?
It's massive. It's massive. I'll let you look up how big it is because I don't know, like specific numbers. Okay, back here, that was the Louvre 8. So who's 9? Leaning Tower of Pisa is 9, and that is the very first one, all the way to the top. Let's go this way with it. All right, who had this one?
Me.
All right, go for it.
It is 180 feet tall and started its construction in August of 1173
Okay,
and ended in the 13,000s
1300s.
and
Yeah.
1300s, and it was built as a church's bell.
Right.
It's a little bit laggy for me. So it was a bell tower. Why is it memorable?
I can't really find it, but I assume that the reason why it's very memorable is probably because it's leaning, is my guess.
That's part of it, and it's being shored up and stabilized so it doesn't completely tip over. But it's also where I believe it was Galileo dropped the feather and the heavy ball or the rock or whatever it was to see which got to the ground faster. It's in Pisa. It's a big scientific area during the Renaissance. Okay. And so it's on a campus with a bunch of other important buildings, and it has scientific significance. One, because of the leaning, and then two, because of the people that used it for experiments, because it's just the perfect type of structure for that. Yeah, Liam.
Sorry for all the questions, but is it leaning because it wasn't built on a good foundation?
Yeah, there's a little bit of just degradation in the soil that they didn't recognize when they first began building it, however many hundreds of years ago. And then it just started leaning. That's that. And that's what made it famous, along with the people that used it. So, all right. So good job on that. So what I want you guys to do next is we're going to come back here. I would like you, when you see the next slide, I would like you, if it's possible, to choose something that corresponds with what you've already just been learning about. So in this case, has to do with Italy, choose Italy. Okay, if there's not, choose something different, and that's totally fine. But if you can choose something that has to do with the country or the place where you were looking already, try to do that, because that's just going to give you layers of understanding. Okay, so here we go to the next slide. What we're going to do, and this is more of a self-study thing for the rest of the time, and what you're going to do is you're going to, for participation, submit the 3 interesting things that you learned about the place that you chose. Okay, so the Neuschwanstein Castle tour is here, and a 360 tour that's in Bavaria. So we're just basically now looking at castles and important buildings, except for Africa. I threw Africa in there for a different purpose, not because of the castles, but it's important to have on there. Okay, so there's Wittenberg. Americans might say Wittenberg. This is where Martin Luther nailed the 99 Theses on the door. And so there's the Castle Church there, the virtual tour of that, and then just a YouTube video. Gascony is in France. And so this is it's a French guy doing a kind of a virtual tour. It's pretty cool. Some of these are a little bit long. You might not get all the way through before classes ended. And some of them, you might decide you want to come back in your spare time and look at all of them if you'd like to. And then there's Cordova. Some people say Cordova with a V, and others say Cordoba with a B. And if you're Italian, it sounds almost exactly the same, but you'll see it and hear it said and spelled both different ways. So you're going to look at the Cordoba Grand Mosque. And then in Britain, there are 3 there, and 2 are fairly long. And I think personally, the Sheffield Castle archaeology dig is probably the most interesting. I think it's also the shortest. And then the Africa one here is because one of the questions that has come up, and I'm just going to give away the answer. You guys can watch that one later if you want to. I will give away the answer, is because, yeah, when you see these places, and we just did, especially from the medieval era, when most of these were built, the medieval, like the 1500s, maybe up through the 1600s, and prior to that, so 13 to 1600. The question becomes, where'd they get all the money? How did they fund these things, right? Is that a reasonable question to ask? Where did they come up with the money for all these things? Well, that's where Africa comes into play. And so I want to remind you that's why this is here, is why, to remind us what medieval Africa was about, what was happening, and the big land grabs that we learned about, the precious gems and the precious metals that we learned about. Apparently, everybody else was learning about them too in the medieval era and going and grabbing them and doing what they could to fund their own exotic lifestyle back in Europe. Okay, so on this page, you guys can reach this from the assignment. Okay, I should have said that early on, and I apologize for not saying that already. If you go to today's assignment here, and you'll see all the links in today's assignment. So choose the area you want to look at. And the one that you probably won't get all the way through is the Britain one, but do what you can there. Excuse me, I'm gonna pause the recording. It needs recording. Right, so 3 facts about a single area, so the Bavaria or the Spain one in Cordoba and that kind of thing, about a single area. And then the goal is to get an understanding of what medieval castles and medieval life in general, really general, was like, because you'll see that the buildings and that type of thing are different. And they reflect, like if you look at Spain, medieval architecture in Spain is going to look very different than medieval architecture in Germany. All right. And that's why we kind of have that broad span of looking at it. It's all the same era, but it's really different. So enjoy looking at them. But yes, 3 facts about one area is just fine. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, so go ahead and pause what you're doing and return your attention this direction. Turn your screens on. And let's wrap up here, okay? So remember, you're to submit 3 interesting facts of what you learned about the area you study, all right? And let's pop back over here. Okay, that says the same thing. That's week 21. All right, so for week 21, it's the same type of things going through the countries. And we are getting nearer and nearer to the next project due date, which is the kind of the journeys of Paul. Okay, so has everybody sort of started that, or are you thinking about it? Some people have started it. Okay, and so make sure you give yourself enough time to do it, and then the mapping and drawing, so that, or however you're going to present that, whether it's with a slide or just regular maps and pictures. So keep that in mind. And then next week, I think I have this. It did go. Okay, I'm going to see really quick. I just want to give you an example, if I can find it really quick, of a regions report. And while I am looking for that, Jaden, what's your question?
So in regards to the project, can you like present, does it have to be like in an actual like mapping app, or can it be like on like something like Google Slides where you just like walk through like his journeys in like the slides?
I actually do want, you could use a slide and say, and kind of, you know, write out the narrative of it, if you will, the point by point, but I want you to be practicing the act of mapping as well, and mapping a journey and an itinerary, because that's an important skill. But that's a really good question. And I think I clarified that in the assignment. I give you a couple choices of how to do it, so that you can get used to using some other types of software with it. So good question though. All right, really quick. This actually has to do more with the regions assignment. This popped up on my Facebook, I think just this morning. So I wanted to, let me see if I can get it to be, I don't know if I can get it to be a little bit bigger, but I wanted you to see, this is a really good example of region type of idea. Okay, so they're looking at the cheeses of Italy. So you can see they've got all the different regions of Italy identified. They've got the names of the cheeses identified, and then for our project, I would want you to go and follow through with why that it was important to the region, and maybe a recipe or a little bit of dialogue about each of those. So that's kind of just a really quick snapshot picture of some ideas to get you kind of get the ideas flowing for you for that fourth and final project for the year. All right. So that's all I have. Any questions before I let you go? No? All right. Have a great week. And if I have sent you a message, do respond back, check your assignments for comments, and have a great week. I will see you guys
Thank
next
you.
week. You're welcome. We'll see you guys. Bye.
Thank you.